Broadcasting basically live from a burning building, it's your boy, Sharp Teeth Girl! And today, with my guest co-host, LivinLikeLog! How you doing,
I'm
Log?
on fire. I'm burning.
Oh, Log shouldn't be so burning, but this is fine, according to Okada. Because today, we're going to be talking about DRAGALIA Laws kind of losing its luster. In fact, I've been thinking about, over the past 2 weeks, I've been thinking about, oh man, should I quit the game? Because the game is not the same as it was when I first started. Like, back then, when we first started the game, we go through dungeons, we go through stories. You still remember that fun little gauntlet in, like, Chapter 6X, where you have to go through all of those fucking ass woods and they drop down on your head? That sort of stuff. It was actually pretty scary. I actually really enjoy that. But, well, those days are long gone now. All we do are boss fights, and my face isn't aligning to the face cam, but you know what? It'll do it soon enough. So, tell me, what are your thoughts of things as it is recently? And, I mean, do you have any thoughts of quitting, or am I alone on this?
Quitting? I'm not there yet, but I totally see it. You know, the general like direction that DL is going in. It's totally getting there. And just some of the additions and the focus on all of these tough boss fights that are impossible to pub. I mean, like Master High Jupiter is the one I've been focusing on. It's a pain. It's so bad.
Speaking of, I haven't even started Master High Jupiter. Can you tell me, like, what the situation is like? I mean, all I know is that Aldrich and 3 Gleos, and that I was making fun of the whole fight in just, you know, you can't solve the fight, just add a couple more Gleos. It's just a matter of how many Gleos you can fit into a team.
Okada tried his best to not let Gleo in, but Gleo found a way. And Gleo will find a way, no matter what. The fight's the biggest pain in the ass ever. It stinks. It's just a ton of memorization. Once you memorize it, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty easy. I've gotten to the point, like right before the rolling Fulgor, or whatever it's called, the big giant thunder waves coming at you. But it's just memorization. And if you mess up once, you're dead. So, yeah.
Just like every other high dragon fight step.
Exactly.
Like, how long have you done the other fights? Like, high Mercury, high Midgard, that kind of stuff?
I usually, so before experts came out, when they initially just released the fights, like the standard fights, I actually usually waited like maybe 2-3 weeks, just because I knew pubs would be hell and, you know, a massacre. So I just waited out, you know, so people got experience with the fight. But because of time trials, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, I was forced to play all these fights day one, and I had to experience a lot of the troublesome times that a lot of people have gone through, a lot of the annoying pub mechanics, and yeah, desync especially. It's bad. But right now, I've cleared all the experts, and I've cleared Hybrid Hilda and High Midgard Stormer Master, and I'm working on Jupiter. Yeah.
So you caught up with everything. Very, very good. I haven't started Jupiter, but I didn't clear the Masters. But in terms of Expert, I am behind a little bit. I haven't even started on Expert Jupiter and High Zodiac. I don't have judging from what you're speaking about as well, I don't think you have a static group.
Oh no, I don't have a group. I just usually, honestly, I usually just pub. I don't know what's wrong with me. But whenever I want to play on like a Discord server or something like that, there's no one around. So it's just like, I just have to pub it up, and it's actually hell. In terms of like High Zodiac and High Jupiter though, those are like by far the hardest experts to get into, because if you weren't doing them like day 1, day 2 the experts came out, you're now so like because I felt this too, like you're so behind because everyone wants you to have the high dragon weapon, and you can't do it unless you destroy one of them. So it's really annoying.
I know, exactly. I've been stuck in it for quite a while now with regards to high Midgard. I had a tough time because I decided, oh yeah, Ramona does tons of damage. But once you actually go and use Ramona, you realize that it's not as simple as it looks. You don't just kind of sit there and hammer at him. You have to actually bait every attack, and if your teammates, you know, walk up to you and decides that, oh yeah, we're gonna go and attack at a most inopportune time, Suddenly, High Midgard turns around and spits one of those horrible things at their faces.
Oh, baiters have it the worst. I refuse. I'm so sorry for baiters. I saw that you played Ramona, and I'm like, you're crazy, man. It's so tough.
I know the first day I did it, I trapped a group for many hours. I was so ashamed of myself. I actually went to Pugs and just practiced non-stop for like a day. That's when I finally figured out how to do it. I've never done it before. I've never baited for High Midgard before. I just used Verica, you know, because I was cheap.
But that, you brought up a good point though. Like for these master fights in particular, you have to literally just bang your head against the wall for hours at a time just to even get a semblance of strategy within the fight. It's the worst feeling in the world trying to learn a master fight.
Yeah. The worst part is everybody else is doing that as well. So if you're not the one tripping up, the other guy's tripping up. That is the main problem I find with this game. Before, you know, we were just having fun going through a dungeon, you know, we fight a boss, sometimes we die to a horrible boulder, and that was really funny, and I enjoy that a lot. But now it's just all boss fights, one after another after another. I rather like the RPG aspect of this game, and I don't know, I'm just getting really tired of raids. You know, if I want to raid, I would go back and play WoW, but, well, you know, I'm getting on my age. I don't have much time to get to a raid group and, you know, call up my friends and be all like, hey, listen, you guys want to go and raid so and so and so? We're going to do this for like 6 to 8 hours straight. You know, nobody's going to say yes to that. It's no longer the case. My friends are all getting old, so, you know, I can't exactly tell them to do that. And Pugs, well, you can't. That's another problem. We can't chat in-game. We have to, you know, start an alliance with them. Oh yeah, of course, start an alliance. You can't even invite people through the game. You have to actually know them beforehand. So it's really stupid, and just doing groups in Pugs in general is just not a healthy experience. I was really hoping that this game would be a little more friendly towards pugging, because as it is right now, I might not have much time to play this game any longer.
Well, it's just like the in-game communication that we do get is just memes. Like you get boom, bravo,
Boom.
like okay, that helps, you know.
Bloop, bloop. Yeah, I know exactly. It was, I didn't really get to do much, and I feel that I don't know. Did you manage to get the rewards for High Midgard? The expert High Midgard, you know, where they gave like top 25 to everybody.
I was able to get the rewards, but I think I placed actually placed within the top 10. So it's cool they gave us rewards, but I didn't get like top 25 legitimately.
Ah, but you said 10%.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Well, I actually heard a lot from people who didn't have time to clear expert High Midgard. All right. If they had known that, hey, listen, you know, Okada is suddenly going to be like giving us top 25s to everybody because of a stupid bug, then, hey, you know, they might have actually done High Midgard. Because you know what? In 2 weeks' time, who the hell have time to go and do all the dragons? There's only like a handful of people. In fact, cut that even like by halves or quarters, because how many people even completed a standard fight? You know, it's kind of scary because like a majority of our players haven't even really played the standard fights. I feel like, you know, I remember reading in one of those interviews that they did with Okada, they were trying to get more people into High Dragons. Well, I don't think a time attack with 2 weeks time limit is a good way to go about doing this, my friend. I feel like it's a good way to drive people away rather than actually getting them to play.
It's true. Like, you're putting an artificial time limit on fights that are a harder version of fights that a lot of your community can't even clear yet. Whose decision was that? And at the same time, you're putting out master modes that further divides the player base. So you have like the tippity top players that are going for top 25, or you have the tippity top players that are going for master. And so you're stuck with like this crappy few bunch of players that you're just all struggling to get expert clear tiers and trying to rank on the leaderboard, and it's just a total mess. The way they rolled out this new content is atrocious, honestly.
Indeed. But back to what I was saying about High Midgard. So do you remember back then when we first started the game, there was these bugs that High Midgard has,
Yeah.
you know, like, it doesn't stun. Here's 300 Wormites for everybody. Yada, 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 yada. Now, all of a sudden...
Go ahead. Every time. It's like every time they fixed something, they broke something else. It was like a weekly occurrence that the thing would be broken. It's funny.
I know, but we get Wormites for it. Everybody got Wormites for it, even those that aren't involved in High Midgard, because, you know, at the time it was new, all that stuff. But now, the problem I see with the expert not doing it is kind of annoying. As I said before, there are people who plan out their high dragons to whatever time they have left. So if they had known that, hey, listen, you know, Okada was going to give top 25 rewards, you'd see more people doing it. But now, you have people left out of this reward. And they feel like shit. I imagine I'd feel like shit too if I lose out on 2 ingots, 1,200 Wormites, 1 dragon stones, etc., etc., 3 toilet paper, golden toilet papers. You know, it makes you feel like shit. You know, I could have done that. But if I had known. The fact of the matter is, they didn't tell anyone. They did it afterwards, and well, the people could have gotten this reward. They couldn't have, and they feel like shit. It reminds me of a problem that recently Pokemon Masters have. I don't know if you played the game or kept track of it, but there was a summoning issue. One of the banners was messed up, and you know what they did? They fixed the problem by refunding all the gems that anyone who has summoned on the banner. So if you say they spent like 6,000 gems on the banner, you get 6,000 gems back, and you keep whatever you summon. So imagine being one of those guys who didn't summon. That's the whole problem. I don't know. I mean,
it's just like, it's not like they didn't know this problem existed before time trials ended. It just feels like they didn't want to communicate it because they didn't want people to not go for top 25, I guess. I don't know, it kind of feels disingenuous in a way.
Yeah, it is. It is very disingenuous. There's a lot of disingenuous things, like Glio, for example. Now, back to the topic of Glio, you remember when Okada took office, it was like early July, right? And not long after, Glio was a thing, in like, I want to say late July.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, think about it for a second. If they had known this ahead of time, why didn't they fix it? It's like Time Attack, they told... as I was told, it's been data mined for a while. It's existed in the game, and yet, you know, they kind of roll through with it. They roll through with Glio and all that stuff, and well, as you have seen, the result is staggeringly bad. Well, what exactly is the problem? Like, how come they couldn't tell that, hey, this character is obviously broken? The moment I laid eyes on Glio's skills, I knew she was going to be broken. It was beyond belief. Like, why would they go through with this? I just don't understand.
They have to have the numbers out there. Like, we know that we have a DPS simulator that the community uses. They have to have something like that at Psy Games where they can calculate a unit's potential. But despite that, they release a character like Glio. And if they just released Glio and that was it, I wouldn't be upset. You know, we have an OP character, whatever. It's the fact that they balance all light content, you know, content where you use Glio and other shadow characters. They balance that around Glio, which punishes other characters, you know, by extension. It's just really bewildering to me why I'd rather them just nerf Glio at this point than have to balance all this content around her, making the game less enjoyable to an extent for a wide variety of people.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded. Look, okay, maybe I'm not such a good example. I kind of single summoned for her, but still, I would not have minded even if I had spent like 50,000 Dimanium on her, because, you know, it's one of these things that really needed to be fixed. It's either that, or, you know, we don't balanced content around it, because now what do we use for Dark? Dark as a whole has been destroyed. Ieyasu used to be cool, but now people are just noping everything else that isn't Glio, and now, as you have seen, the whole meta revolves around her in High Jupiter as well, even though it was expected that she'd be removed.
Yeah, I don't know. Just High Jupiter has always been my least favorite High Dragon trial, just because you could tell that they very much balanced it with Glio in mind, especially Expert and now Master. So it just takes away the unit diversity. Like it's ridiculous that you can't find a room accepting Iyasu's, Currens, Botan, stuff like that in Expert High Jupiter. Like, you just can't. You're stuck with Glio. And if you don't have Glio, well, you're kind of SOL. You're done. Like, what are you going to do? You should just uninstall the game. Like, you're missing out on the best character in the game and a character that they balance around her. So it's just like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I looked at, like, I don't know if you played Final Fantasy XI in the past, but there was this fight called Absolute Virtue. It was a really stupid fight. It was designed poorly, just like how Jupiter is. You kind of can't beat it. They try to beat it with legitimate means. They couldn't, so they used illegitimate means. Eventually, Square Enix started, well, removing those exploits to get it done. And after many years, they finally were able to do it. Of course, by that time, the stuff was kind of outdated. It was, I don't know, I'm getting the same vibe with High Jupiter here. It's just not a well-designed fight. I don't know. I don't know if I could keep going on like this with this game, because I feel like, you know, when I first saw the New Year's, or not New Year's, the anniversary announcement, you saw the video, right? With all the weapons and shit and the new bosses. It made me very worried. The moment I saw the weapons, I knew I was screwed, because what are we going to do with those weapons we already have? Those core weapons with all the ingots that we've already slapped in. I don't know if you've done it, but I slapped ingots on, you know, on all the weapons that I carry.
Oh yeah, no, I spent money. I bought packs, like, and used those ingots for those max and bound elemental core weapons, and within one broad stroke, now they are legitimately useless in the newest content. It's bewildering to me. Outside games thought this was a good idea. That's the most short-sighted thing they've ever done. Like, I can't believe it.
I know. When I saw that, I was terrified. I immediately went to feedbacks, even customer support, you know, the one that they actually give you a reply, and ask them, hey, listen, what are we going to actually do about these ingots for the new weapons? You know what they replied? Oh, we can't reveal, like, we can't reveal the info from the future, yada, yada, yada. They give me the canned replies, and sure enough, my worst expectations came true. The weapons are useless. You don't get your ingots back. And now, with the High Dragon stuff, you can't even disassemble your weapons. So who's to say, hey, we're going to get android weapons in the future that are like, even like gives you like 2,000 might over even the High Dragon stuff. See, that's a horrible thing. That's absolutely terrible. You have to invest so much onto it with real money, and the stuff that you invested is gone. At least Fire Emblem Heroes, for all of its power creeps, you still keep your character. Your character can still be used. But now, if I bring in this stupid core weapon into like High Zodiac, people are gonna look at me like I've got 5 heads. You know,
I'm pretty sure Cygames did this. They did this definitely on purpose, you know, making us want to buy more Damascus ingots. Because I think, you know, their cash cow used to be those Dragon Stones, that $40 Dragon Stone pack. And you'd get a Dragon Stone, you could buy 2, I think the limit's 3 now or something like that. But I feel like nowadays a lot of day one players, or just old players, have got their max and bound dragons that they need. At least I feel like I do. Of course, I can get 3 copies of Shinobi max and bound if I wanted to, but I don't need it. There's nothing I really need it for, so I don't need to use those stones anymore. So how the Cygames make that monthly money, that monthly check? Well, now they're gonna make us start buying those Damascus ingots for people that want to participate in the most tough contents, especially time trials where you really need to have the most optimal gear. How are you gonna get that optimal gear? You're gonna spend money. It's just simple as that.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's, I mean, I can understand that Damascus ingots needs a bit of a sink to it, but I don't know. At the very least, all right, you could at least be able to convert one of those maximum bound weapons into like a single or two of those tier 1
anything
weapons.
even horns or just tails. Give me something. They're useless. There's no reason to use them.
Exactly, and I'm worried because, as I said before, what if android weapons come out? Oh shit, then hey, those ingots that I spent on that is useless. I can't even disassemble these weapons anymore. I've got no use for these things, if it happens, that is. But with regards to this whole thing, it's just, I don't know. I suppose ingots could be thought of as a time saver, because now you can actually grind the stuff that you want. But, well, I mean, at one tail per fight, it kind of gets a little. I was listening in on the underground, the Discord, the underground Discord channel, that where they did the groups and such for High Dragons, and I was in one of the groups that I guess with a bunch of top players in it, and they were chatting in the voice chat. They were just bitching all non-stop about, oh yeah, I had to grind the fucking High Jupiter all day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get 1 tails each time. I need 90 tails. Oh, so much fun. That's all I've been hearing, like these sarcastic quips about how much fun it is. And in China, I was looking at a China forums, and the Chinese are the same way too. They were not happy about this change, and just the 2 weeks thing was just too time constricting, and it built up too much stress. And even now, past the time attack, I still am dealing with this, because if I don't clear High Jupiter within this week, hey, guess what? I'm fucked in the ass for the next rotation until a month later. So I don't know.
They could still fix it though. Like, this isn't something that's super detrimental to where the game's like gonna die because of it. They could just add in a way to change, get those max and bound elemental core weapons that we spent so much time on, and give us something for it. They can totally still do that, and I hope they do, because they've been getting a ton of feedback about it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm going to send them feedback on that. Well, I've already did, but I'm going to send them feedback on the expert high midgard thing as well, because I honestly think it's very unfair, because people could have done that instead of planning for something else altogether. I don't know. I mean, for all of Cygames' generosity, right? You what do you think of when you think of Cygames? You think of tenfolds. In fact, that's what Okada did. He just, comes in. Everybody was kind of doubting at first when Matsura decides, oh yeah, I'm going to step down, this guy's going to show up. And then all of a sudden Okada shows up with a couple tenfolds, and everybody's doubts just kind of clears away. Well, here we are again, and what is he going to do? Give us more tenfolds? I don't know. I don't think that's enough for me. Well, easy for me to say because I'm just single summoning shit all day, but still, there's no guarantee when it comes to these things. Even when it comes to free tenfolds, you think that it's a great thing and all that, but hey, when your summon is like 9 3 stars and 1 guaranteed 4 stars, you suddenly realize that maybe it's not worth that much after all. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like I need something to keep me in the game. Right now, I just feel I can't deal with it. I don't have enough time to play. I want to say that, hey, listen, we could just wait like a month or so, but then what if the androids come out with like their ultra buff stats and I can't even get started with it, even on standard? Then I missed out a whole bunch of content. I hear a lot of day one players, well, maybe not a lot, but I hear a number of them have quit for similar reasons, the fear of being left behind. And unless you decide, oh yeah, I'm going to play this game like a fucking job, like a second job or something, how are you going to keep up? I don't know. How are you keeping up? I mean, how many hours have you invested over the last
a ton.
days?
I was looking at my screen time because I use an iPhone, so you can look at your screen time. It's up more percent than it's ever been in a week that I've played Dragalia Lost. Like, probably, I feel like the week that Master Hybrid Hilda came out, when Time Trials first came out, I put in easy 40 hours into the game. Easy 40 hours, just as much as I can. I didn't play any other game. Even last week with Midgard Storm, I didn't play any other game. Just because there's just so much grinding that you need to do to get all these weapons. And because Master only is there for a limited amount of time, a lot of that time is just trying to practice, and finally get a good run. And because of how inconsistent those fights are, especially with things like lag and what's it called? Desync, yeah, stuff like that. You're at the mercy of the game and hoping for that just one perfect run, and it's the worst.
Oh yeah, trust me. Even though I know the fight inside and out, the time that I cleared High Midgard, it took us 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I happened upon a pub group, right? That when I was doing Pug, they just so happens to be the same guys in main chord. So when they spotted my name, they called me out and they were like, "Hey, listen, you're that Lu Bu, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And then we end up getting a group together because it seemed like we were gonna clear. And that, you know, my friend, is the worst trap of all. When you know you're going to clear. That is the worst trap of all, because then you're stuck in this group thinking that, oh yeah, the next one is going to be it. That one is going to be it. Next thing you know, 6 hours pass, and you just barely pass it by reset. Because I made a limit for myself, right? That day, I was like, look, I have a weekly box that's going to run out. Or not the weekly box, the 2 times weekly box that was going to run out. I said to myself, if I don't get it done that day and the weekly runs out, I quit. And just as luck has it, we somehow managed to make it right at reset, like literally 2 o'clock, and I managed to get the 2 times reward before it expired. I don't know if I'd rather be happy or sad, because at that point I was like, you know, I was kind of looking forward to quitting the game. So
I think a problem the game has right now is, in the past, there was a good divide between like more casual content and more like hardcore content. You know, like regular standard Dragon Trials back in the day, they were a lot harder because of like one single worm prance and just, you know, not as strong units. But there was a good divide, like you still had casual content to do. Now it's like all hardcore content. You have to be like at the top of your game whenever you're playing Dragalia Lost. There's no like, you know, chill stuff to do. I think that's going to be a real big problem, especially when androids come out and they require the use of high Dragon Trial weapons. You're gonna push a lot of the fan base away, and the best players, the players that actually participated in that content, they're gonna do androids. They're done with high dragons. Okay, so what are the newer players that are coming in that are trying to get to that android content? What are they gonna do? They're just gonna suffer in pub hell with all the other players that, you know, never got the chance to do those expert modes in that master mode. So it's like you're gonna create a bad gameplay loop if they don't do something. They need to bridge the gap.
Yeah, in fact, it's happening right now. You would think that, hey, standard is what you would do to bridge the gap, right? Nope, it's not. First of all, pugs can't even do standards because no one's doing standards. So the new players that gets together, they don't know the mechanics, they don't have the weapons, they don't have anything. They just kind of get screwed. And meanwhile, everybody is stuck in expert and masters, mostly experts, but still quite a number of people are doing masters, and they just don't. There's no way. Like, all right, even you know, before all that, let's just say everybody is an expert right now. Because of the time limit of having to get stuff done on masters, you can't even help out others, because it's like, I want to help you, but if I do, I won't be able to get my stuff done in time. So then it leads to a vicious cycle where, hey, you know, nobody's clearing things properly. The guys that are clearing things, they're in a group. They're all in a group. If you're not in a group, you might as well not be playing the game. It's starting to feel like that right now, and I'm not in favor of that. Because I mean, yes, it's because I'm not in a group, but it really feels like that though. And like for just pretty much most of the populace who just kind of want to play this game casually. Because look, this is a cell phone game. I expect that. Hey, I pick up my cell phone when I'm at like work or when I'm like on a bus or something like that. I want to play my game then. I don't want to turn it into a PC rating game, because if that's the case, I might as well just play on my PC. I just wanted a nice, casual story time experience, going through some ridiculous dungeons, get rolled over by boulders, and collect waifu titties. That's all I wanted to do. But, things as it is, no way.
You brought up a good point. It is a mobile game, so you also have to factor in all the various disconnects that you can get with that. So when you have content like High Dragon Trials, if you get disconnected from Wi-Fi or disconnected from your LTE or whatever, if one person disconnects, it's over. You're done. There's no way you can get it back. And this happened to me. Maybe about a week ago. I was doing High Midgard Stormer Master. I was on my bus, and I was actually having a really good run. We were getting close to the clear. He had about 20% HP left. Everyone was doing it right, and then all of a sudden, I disconnected. And it was the worst feeling in the world.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. So...
You've got some balls, first of all, for doing that on a bus.
It was tough. I played Emma, so it's not as intensive as like Ramona or something like that. I just kind of sit there, poke with my stick, and then, give everyone a little defense up every once in a while. But, it can be tough. It can be tough. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, given that, hey, Ramona screws up, or hey, the Gale, somebody screws up, it's as good as you screwing up. I really don't like the idea of relying on others for these kinds of games. I really just want to... I mean, I want to play with others, but I don't want to be forced to play with others, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And one thing that you brought up a little bit earlier is like you don't want to help other people out. I totally get you with that. Like I feel bad, but I can't do standard High Dragon Trials anymore. It doesn't make sense for my wing economy. Wings are limited. I officially today ran out of wing recovery. I have no more of those ashes. I'm done. So if someone hits me up and it's like, hey, can you please help me with standard Hybrid Hilda? I'm like, sorry, dude. It's just a waste of time for me. I can't. I physically can't do it anymore. It sucks.
Exactly. There's like no rewards for it. So there's no reason to do it. They must at least give you like some horns, or no, maybe not horns, but some tails or something like that. Just so you have some incentive to do it. Or I don't know, maybe like some kind of help new players program. I've seen like several games have them, where you just help new players and you get like certain rewards and such like that. Or you know what? Even before that, what would this separate someone from a new player? Easy, just, if they have a first clear or not. If you help someone with a first clear, you get, a part of what they would have received, that sort of stuff. Well, you don't actually take stuff from them, but you know what I mean, like, you get some of their first clear bonus, or just something else altogether. Just something for give someone a reason to help out a new player. Because otherwise... they're going to be stuck in this loop, and they're going to get frustrated, and maybe even quit.
I can't imagine being a new player in DL, because not only do you have that frustrating loop like you were saying, but you don't have access to limited units. A lot of them are some of the best in the game, like Leo, Yasu, all those limited. You also don't have access to facilities at all. And I know that they're adding it back. They're adding a way that you can replay those past events and get those facilities whenever. But you can't just add all this content in and not add that feature as well. They go in tandem, Not adding one with the other just screws over all those newer players or players in other regions too. There's a lot of people that didn't get the game until like April, and they missed out on a ton of facilities, and they're behind despite being pretty long players at this point. Coming back from the Fey event.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I don't know. I mean, see, the problem with this game, right? Like, I quit Langrisser before. I don't know if you've seen me play Langrisser, but I played Langrisser before. And one of the issues I have is that all you do is grind, and the grinding takes time. If you don't do it, you fall behind. And this is one of the problems that DL has. If you don't do these things, you fall behind. And it feels so terrible. You can't just skip it. And here we are, right? Not only are we doing expert stuff now and master stuff, we also have the regular events to worry about. It's just, where are we finding time? Do you really just want us to stay in this game forever? It's ridiculous the way they want to pad
and some of the events that they're doing, like the Halloween event rerun that they're doing right now. Honestly, I kind of wish I didn't even do the event because the rewards are so bad and pointless for a player that is, doing expert and master high dragon trials. Oh, if I get the best reward in the facility event, I get a golden key. Wow. Side games.
Yeah, you used to be so cool though.
Max 9,000 Eldwater. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, give me something tangible and stop giving me twinkling sands. I have no use for that anymore.
Oh, but do you know that you can get your facility to level 35?
Get a couple more stat points. Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah, but you did.
Oh, I did, yeah. I almost forgot. I know a lot of people forgot, but, do it. Make sure you do it.
Yeah. Do it. Make sure you do it. Yeah. I was a little worried there for a second. It's a couple stat points, but it's not insignificant. It's still there, so I would recommend everybody to do that one. But
speaking of stats, what do you think of augments? I know that's a hotly contested subject.
Oh shit. Well, I understand that there needs to be a rupee sync somewhere down the line. It syncs it pretty nicely, but maybe half of its cost might be a little bit better. Right now, you have to switch between 5 fucking fights. It's ridiculous. So true. And when you discover that, this character doesn't work out, oh shit, I've just wasted 2, 4, 6, 8 million rupees just like that. And rupees, well, unless they start doing 2 times the amount all the time, is still going to take some time to recover. And I don't know if you still have any honey.
Oh no, that's been gone for weeks now. Honey, what's that? I get my daily alliance honey, and that's it. I eat it up real quick. That double IO tastes real good, but that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. So now you don't have a means to switch out of whatever you're into, or you couldn't even do it in the first place. Like there's this guy, right? This guy named Rake. He has a Mikoto, and he wants to run Master Eye Midgard. He spent 5.5 days, non-stop, mind you. Like, I feel like he's been there 24 hours in that goddamn Discord channel asking for groups, and he couldn't get into most groups. And when he did, he didn't pass because he's playing a Mikoto. So his augments are not going to good places. And not to mention, he used up his dream summon. He thought that, at the time, getting Victor would have been a great idea. Oopsie daisy, terrible idea, because now, instead of getting Rina, he's got Mikoto, and he can't pass High Midgard for almost a whole entire week. He could have just simply lost the opportunity to do Masters for a whole month. That's a very scary thought. I can understand why he would spend 24 hours for 5.5 days trying to get this done. This leads to another problem that I find with the content in general, because most of the casts aren't even being used. Never mind Glio, most of the meta is pretty much set, and if you're not taking the meta characters, people look at you like, what the fuck are you doing here? What are you doing here? Get the hell out of here. I want my Emma. I want my Verica. We have no need for your Saris, for your Mikoto. And so these people get left out of the group. Say, I commend the guy for sticking to it for 5.5 days, because I don't know if I would have the mind to do that, because we're already dealing with limited time as it is. You can't waste any more time.
Exactly, and with time trials too, you got that ticking time bomb. 2 weeks for 5 different fights, all the various different skill levels, all not all, but a lot of them requiring some augments on your units just to be able to get the might gate that some people put in their rooms, and they won't even let you play if you don't reach a certain level. It creates this big toxicity within the community, and I'm curious. I really want to see what Cygames is thinking right now. I just want to be a fly on the wall and see if they ever want to do a time trial event again, because I can't see them seeing this as a positive, time for the game.
Well, here's the thing, though. One thing I learned recently about Cygames is that I don't think they learn from their mistakes. All right, so we were talking about Glio, right? Well, it's been compared to a character in Grand Blue, to a character named Zoe, or whatever. Well, Zui is much like how Glio is, in which she warps the content all around her. Well, they obviously didn't pick up their lessons from it. That's why we have Glio. So, what makes you think that they might not have like some shitty thing like Android Time Attack in Season 3 or Season 4 or something like that? You know, they could very well just be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna have a time attack for Android fights that nobody has done before. It could happen. I don't know. I just feel like I lost a lot of belief. I lost a lot of faith in Psy games recently, and it makes me want to quit the game. I just feel like I can't deal with this for much longer because I don't really have time.
What do you think would be your final straw? What could they do, realistically, that'd make you finally quit?
Well, honestly, I think that final straw has already passed, like a couple times with High Midgard. When I went through that fight, I had wanted to quit many times. It was just so unpleasant. It was the most unpleasant experience I have ever had. I haven't met a character, but we still can't clear because my teammates, even though they also have meta characters, they can't play well. Even I can't play well. And you know what? The main problem with these fights is that stupid mistakes happen, or stupid bugs happen, these things happen, and when they do, they take its toll on your concentration. So normally you'll be playing really, really great. You do things smooth, and then after a couple failures, you start losing your concentration. You start playing sloppily, and it turns into this horrible, horrible eternal cycle of suffering that lasts for an entire day. Even if you were to take a nap, it would just come back. And I lost a lot of sleep the last couple weeks, just because of this shit. It's making me lose my mind, and I fear that it's going to happen again. Because you saw the whole Android thing. There's like 6 or 7 guys in there. It scares me.
And they're gonna be definitely. I don't know. I hope Cygames is taking notes and maybe balancing them with multiplayer in mind, because you know the original High Dragon Trial, High Midgard Stormer, back when the game first released, obviously they couldn't take any criticism when designing that fight. The androids, though, entirely, they're not even dragons, so you don't have to design them around a dragon motif or, you know, having any of those aspects. They're very humanoid, so if they can design the fight with co-op in mind, so I'm hoping they do that. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I don't know. I think they're just trying to see how far they can go, especially with High Jupiter Master. Just how far they can go in a certain direction, and if we can put up with it, you know.
Well, they certainly discovered it with Audric and 3 Gleos. They probably weren't expecting that, but it happened.
Oh, I want to see who they cleared it with, because obviously they had to clear the fight. So I want to see what they consider meta.
Yeah, you know, they really should stream for us. You know, back to what I was talking about with Absolute Virtue in Final Fantasy 11, they actually did a stream, but it was only like 5 fucking minutes, and it's only like the last part, and the one part that they show that actually has a clue, it requires absolutely inhuman timing to execute in the United States because of ping. The guys who live near Japan, they can execute it a little easier, but maybe a lot easier. Meanwhile, the guys in America, yeah, the timing is very, very, very bad because of ping. It's practically impossible. And that is the only part that they showed. It was a very short segment. And here, if they actually do it with Cygames, I don't know if they're going to show the whole fight or not, but I really hope, though, that they actually do show us how they do it. But even if that is the case, they're not going to do it for months in. So, whether you like it or not, you're still going to be behind for months with regards to these things. So, I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, man, I get the feeling, too, that, you know, at least in High Jupiter's case, because I feel like, you know, High Brunhilde, High Midgard Stormer, you could clear that master, you could get carried to an extent. Especially if you were playing a healer role, you could totally get carried. You can't play a healer in High Jupiter. So I feel like this is gonna be the great divide. This is where you find the men from the boys.
Well, you can play
Yeah, I mean,
Aldrich.
yeah, Aldrich is.
You can play Aldrich.
Well, healer role for sure. You still have to bait though. That's the thing. You have to know how to bait. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do that, especially if you're not hosting as the Aldrich player. You know, that could screw you up. But this will be the divide. You know, see the hardcore people from the people that just like to play the game and you know, aren't super serious.
It's dividing me right now because I've been sitting there for the last couple days deciding, do I really want to get my ass into that? I have a couple ways to do it, and it's none of them pleasant. One is, yeah, get on my knees and beg people and let them in as Aldrich. You know, just pull out like this stupid core dark sword and be like, listen, dude, please let me into your group. Second is to actually do High Zodiac, which I haven't done. So here I am, farming 90 tails in a week again. Oh, so much fun. That, I don't know if I want to do. So that's going to get me stuck behind as well. So I don't know. I guess I just have to get on my knees and beg people. But they're not likely going to take me because there's so many Aldrichs right now. Because so many people want to get fucking carried. So, I mean, I understand what you say about the divide. But, really, honestly, right now, it's just about whether you have or you don't have. And these guys, there's a lot of people who don't have that are trying to get in line to get into doing Aldrich, just because, hey, listen, I get to get past this content with barely any investment, and I have to be in the group.
And that's
kind of
for people with like access to groups, with people access to Discord. A lot of people, like I feel like a lot of Dragalia Lost players don't have access to Discord. You know, it's a small bubble when in reality there's a lot more players out there who don't use any Discord at all, who just play pubs. Imagine having a pub High Jupiter Master. Just the hell, the absolute just storm that would be.
We've already dealt with that in High Midgard, so I mean, it's probably like that, except, well, it ends sooner. Maybe that's actually a good thing, because in High Midgard, you go through most of the fight, and then you see Gales, and then it's over. You wasted even more time. I think it's a lot worse, honestly. I think that's a lot more worse. I'd rather than just get it over with. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just so bad. I really don't know if I should keep playing the game. I spent a lot of money on the game. I'm Phoenix Man. I spent all that to get Phoenix because, hey, listen, I want to get into High Midgard. Oh, I guess I'll use that on my Verica or something like that. Though, to be honest, I got a lot of 5 stars. It wasn't just solely for Phoenix, but it did, you know, it's not like I thought it was going to go that way. I mean, it's a 4-star for fuck's sake. I'm supposed to just get it quickly. Nope, not that time. But I did get a lot of good 5 stars out of it, so it gave me a power base necessary to go through lots of the game. Not to mention all the goddamn Eldwaters. So it was a good start for me, but I don't know. I mean, I spent a lot of money in the game, and I still want to quit. It's just, I just can't bear with it anymore. I don't know. What do you recommend? Should I wait? I don't know. I mean, if I miss out on High Jupiter, I feel like I'm going to be missed out on.
As long as they don't balance High Zodiac around High Jupiter, like around having a tier 2 weapon, I think it'll be fine. I don't think they'll do that because they know they intentionally designed High Jupiter Master to be difficult, to be a pain in the ass. There's no way they didn't. That fight is the ultimate pain in the ass. So, as long as they don't balance that around High Zodiac Master, you should be okay. But, I don't know, I think sticking in there is probably the best for now. At least, especially since, you know, we got that Mega Man coming up, which will be kind of cool.
About that Mega Man, though. We don't even
That's
get
right.
a summoning banner.
How
We get a
disappointing
Mega
is
Man.
that? Like, it's probably going to be just some
Oh,
crappy
man.
Dragon Special running at the same time.
Yeah, dude, the stupid crappy Dragon Special. Although some of them could be useful, they tend to stick some stupid ass
We
dragon
are the
in there
Theps
to-
coming back. Let's go.
No, I was really looking forward to summoning like Zero or some shit like that, Magma Dragoon, something cool. But I don't want to use Mega Man, especially not old school Mega Man. Old school Mega Man isn't cool. Mega Man X is cool, but not
Free
old school
welfare Mega Man too. Oh, he's gonna be great.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did say that they're gonna plan some crazy ass things with their dragon forms. I pretty much can assume that he's just gonna change his color and then he's gonna shoot like whatever element beams that he gets. That could be useful though, because then he won't have to put up with the whole transformation thing, and he could actually go into full power without like a loss of DPS or something like that. Maybe he can even activate unique skills that he can build up. You know, that's another thing altogether that I've been thinking about with dragons lately. Why is it that they can't build up skills when they're active? Why can't they can't do the same thing as Siren?
Yeah.
You know, build up
Siren is
skills.
such a great dragon, but then you start attacking with her and it's just the worst. But I do like that. Like I like
the fact,
especially with Goofton's his like co ability, doesn't it like increase the shapeshift time or something like that? So it'd be cool if you could build it up, and also it's like it'd work well with, you know, increasing your dragon bond. There's some dragons that actually like it's not good to increase their dragon bond because you want to get out of their dragon form as quick as possible. You want to use their skill and then be done. That'd be cool.
I want to say that, but I need dragon stones.
Yeah. You need those
I
dragon
need dragon
stones
stones like crazy.
for sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, what else do you think that would be good if they improve in this game anyway? I've been spitting my piece. Would you have any other concerns on your end?
I mean, if we want to go back to augments, I hate augments a ton. I think they're the worst. They're an artificial barrier to entry, and they're required in master mode specifically. Like, you really need them, unless you're going to whale some Damascus ingots and unbind that dragon weapon. But otherwise, or just do a crap ton of grinding. But otherwise, you know, you need to put some augments on your characters. But the problem is, Cygames hasn't given us more augments, despite us needing more augments with this new content. Because when augments first came out, there was like not a need for them, so it was okay that we got, you know, a pitiful amount. But now we need them because there's content that actually requires them, and they refuse to, you know, acknowledge the importance of them.
Well, you could spend Dimanium and Worm
Oh yeah,
to get a couple
more stats. Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you?
Does it feel good?
Yeah. 500. It's terrible. Yeah, okay, so when you buy all those, you get 150 more of those.
Just 150 for spending how much?
Let's see. I think I spent like 500, or maybe what was it, like 30 a piece? It was really stupid. I feel like. I felt like I spent like 1,000 in total. I haven't done the calculation again, but it was at least 500. It was at least 500 for that much. So you can count it as kind of like a weekly thing, except, well, instead of 2 times, you get 1.5.
So usually you get like what, 30? So you're getting 45 in total?
Usually we have 300 of those pieces, and when you buy them, you have 2 ways to buy them. One is with Wormites and one is with Dimanium. And they count separately. So you could get up to a total of 150 with both of them combined. So you get 450 pieces, so you can get more augments out of them. I think that, you get like 15.
So 45 in total instead of 30. And you're spending, what, 1,000? Because I think you can get 2 of those 500. So 1,000 Dimantium, and then it's some Wormite for the other one. You can get like 30 pieces.
Yeah. I did it anyway, though, because, you know, I hate dealing with moving all my shit around, but I ended up still moving my shit around.
No, I don't blame you for doing it, honestly, because it's just a big headache to run out of gold. It's just the worst.
Oh, it is. So, I think they should at least have to cost a little bit to it. I don't know. But, I still got this feeling that I don't know how long I could put up with this game. I honestly have to go back to thinking about it. I feel like despite the fact that we have this beautiful conversation and your assurance on High Jupiter, I still feel a little iffy. I
think once you start attempting High Jupiter, it gets easier, for sure. It's honestly just memorization. Once you memorize it, it's easy.
Well, yeah, but you know, the problem is the entrance ticket. Just entering. and then looking for the group that'll take me in. It's just so much to do. I used to play with Burke, right?
Spinning Shark.
Spinning Shark. And I played with Wobbles and the others, but now these other guys have found a group, and Spinning Shark no longer plays the game. So
what was his endpoint? What made him quit?
It was around the Gliel time, or honestly even before that. But the Gliel thing was the last time we had a little chat together about it. He said he wasn't interested in getting Gliel, yada yada yada. I mean, he wasn't interested in the game anymore anyway, so it makes sense. So he just kind of bounced, and well, I found myself without any groups for the longest time. Honestly, now I truly understand how shitty the game is without a group. This last 2 weeks has been hell.
Pubs will do that to you. Pubs will ruin you mentally. If you don't have good groups, you're just stuck in hell. It's the worst thing in the world.
But you know, we shouldn't have to require these groups to play the game. We really shouldn't have to. I honestly think that, you know, in the spirit of the game, we should be able to play with others and still be able to have a good time. Listen, that's how I end up finding you.
That's
in the
right.
Game. I found you when we in High Brunhilde. We had a couple problems, but you know, you stuck in there, and I hung in there too. I'm the Thonel, and I'm just like, hey, listen, my role's integral. We look like we can do decent work. We stuck around for a couple matches, and eventually we start clearing. That is how the game should be. But as it is right now, if you try to do that, you can expect to spend hours, and hey, God forbid you get a disconnect, then you'll never see these guys again. The friend list on the fucking game doesn't do me anything. What does the friend list do? I guess you can use them as support when you play single player, which you can't do with this game, you know? Honestly, I feel like the highest point in this game is actually recently when we have the Omega raids, when we did the raid by ourselves.
That was
cool.
You had to rely on just yourself.
Yeah.
You had to rely on manipulating the AI too. That's something I don't ever have to do. So it's like a brand new skill I had to learn.
Yeah, but you know, the most important thing is you have to count on yourself. You don't have to count on other people. You can play it whenever you want. You can't just be like, hey, listen guys, get up at like 10 p.m. or some shit like that and get ready to do this group because I have to go to work, and I'd make you wait until 10 p.m. to get the group started. Like raid night in WoW, you don't have to do any of that. You can just do it whenever you want. Pull out your fucking cell phone, sitting on a shitter, and just play Dragalia Lost and try to beat the Omega raids without falling into the tank. That is what I wanted to do with this game. They could have done that with these dragon fights. Okay, say they have single player versions of these fights that you could do. Then you can get the same rewards, and you don't have to put up with this pug nonsense. I feel like that would have been a great thing to have. It may sound antisocial, but you know what? We need it right now.
I feel like Dragalia Lost is like super separated, where you have like the main story, and it's all these cool, you know, well-designed dungeons with puzzles. And when you first start Dragalia Lost, like that's your impressions of the game. It's gonna be some sort of like dungeon crawler.
Yes.
It's gonna be some dungeon puzzles. You have to bring on elements. You have to bring healer. You have to bring different things. And then when you actually start getting into the actual meat of the game, it's all focused on these just, these tough bosses.
These
bosses. It's raid bosses. It's bosses. You get the occasional facility event that, if you've been playing since day one, is piss easy, so you don't even get to enjoy it. I autoed the entirety of the Halloween event. I never even touched.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I never even touched my phone. I let Halloween Ellie go, and she just does the job for me.
Yeah, exactly. You're not even playing the game. That's the other problem with the single player content currently as it is. You don't have to play it. You don't even touch it. You just kind of auto it for what's a good word for it? Not ceremony, but you know what I mean. It's just something you have to do. It's just something that you do daily. You just auto it, and then you're done. There's no single player content that you would do otherwise. Whereas with Omega raids, that was different. We actually had to go through. In fact, the Omega raid single was so much tougher than the raid version that it actually was kind of refreshing. The problem, though, with Omega raids, But that also is something I want to bitch about, and that's the goddamn rare boost.
Oh
Rare
god,
boosts are
rare
so
boosts
stupid.
Suck. You're putting even more RNG into a game that literally is, you know, bread and butter is RNG, being a gacha game. Now you're putting it into actual like mechanics. That's just it's so bad.
Oh yeah, Broda was able to get his video up because he got a couple. I got nothing.
That was
I couldn't beat the fight
out day one. I was like, oh, let's check out his clear. He's got like multiple raid boosts. They have some good synergy with each other. Meanwhile, I'm stuck with freaking you know, finally get 2 raid boosts within like 3 days. It finally took me to get 2 of them, and I got crit chance and crit damage. So I'm praying to RNGesus, please just give me a freaking crit so I could beat this guy. And it's the worst thing in the world. You could be given the worst raid boosts and just be out of luck. Like there's nothing to do.
Yeah. I've got nothing, so I had to figure out a way to beat it. I ended up using Lowen and using Lowen to boost my HP to get past it. Otherwise, people were dying at the 3 tornado phase, where the fucking
tornado and the lightning and just the hell
and the lightning. Yep, they suck them right into the lightning, and then they just get grinded up like a chainsaw. It was pretty terrible. But with Lowen's buff, I was able to get past that. But then I ran into a problem where I wasn't doing enough DPS. Oopsie daisy! It was a worse experience, but it was a fun experience because I was experiencing it alone and not have to put up with all kinds of stupid things happening. Still, they could do without rare boost. It's a stupid system. They just get rid of it. Just please get rid of it.
I feel like something like that, like rare raid boost, they had to know that would be a bad idea. Like they had to. There's no way, unless they didn't playtest it and like playtest the event and see like the natural progression.
That's the thing.
How do you not see that's going to be an issue for some people?
Exactly. That's the thing. I don't think they play the game. I don't think they actually play the game. They make the game, but they don't actually play it. If they had, you know, actually playtest the game, they would know so many things is fucking
like Cerberus's skill not working.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then fucking reward like people who participate in time attack, but not, you know, people. They just had to notice. They just had to notice someone. I don't know. Even if Cerberus was at fault, they could have at least let it. I don't know. I just find it really stupid that so many people are missing out on this reward because it's not a small reward. The whole time attack thing was so fucking stupid. They shouldn't have attached such a big reward to it. A small reward like the title and a couple worm mice, that would have been fine. They included some really heavy duty stuff. Now, I don't think this game is bad for free to play. In fact, I think free to play players can thrive very nicely, especially if you're able to get into these time attacks and you're able to clear it with whatever resources that you do have. Free-to-play players are actually in not so bad a spot with this game. In fact, I think free-to-play players can do very well, but I don't know where they're going with it. I really don't understand why they attach such a big reward to the time attack thing. It doesn't really help out whales. I mean, I guess it kind of does, but it doesn't really help out that much. As long as you have like ingots that you saved up over the courses of the game, you should be able to clear. Well, I say this, but you still need your group and all that. But I don't know. I just think the reward was too big. I think the reward's too big for that event, causing everyone to just kind of go crazy. I'm going crazy over it, even after it's passed.
It was just a lot to like take in. 5 different fights and also 2 master fights within that time as well. Then you also have to. They also added Mercurial Gauntlet level 51 that nobody even cares about. They ruined that mode. If you want to talk about that, you know we can.
No, I don't know what else to talk about. Oh, okay. Now he does his purple clap, so you can't use
again balancing around Glio. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You can't use Glio. Glio's gonna get her bitch slapped, get her face bitch slapped. But you know, it really doesn't matter. All you need is that 250, and then you're done. Just stay out of that mode. It's not. In fact, you don't. What do you even use it for? What do you even need it for? To get the max, you get an extra dust. Ooh, a fucking dust. Look, we're gonna need that anymore.
You get 1,000 extra Eld water. Okay, great.
Ooh, 1,000 extra Eld water. I'll get from my free summon. Yeah, okay.
I feel I have so much Elder Water right now. I have like 800,000 Elder Water, and it's just because I
Jesus
don't have
Christ.
anyone to use it on. Like all the meta picks I want, I've already done, and it's not like there's any single player content where I need 4 different, super buffed up meta picks. I only need 1. That's it for my high dragons, and that's all I invested into. Now I'm just sitting on nearly 1 million Elder Water, just chilling out, waiting for a good unit to be released so I can dump it into them.
Oh, it's terrible. I really wish there's more single player content. Wish there's more dungeon crawler
That would be
content.
so much fun, just like endless dungeons or something like that, like floors and stuff.
Exactly.
That's what the single player is. Like, come on,
dude. Exactly. And if that, you play.
Yeah.
Before,
Oh
right?
man, imagine something like that. It'd be so cool.
I came in here expecting that. And boy, was I fucking.
That's how
wrong.
they advertise the
really
game
was
too.
expecting. Yes, exactly. You saw the advertisement. You know what? You know who shows up in those fucking advertisements? Japanese salarymen. You know what? Those guys, they can't stick around and fight bosses for 20 hours a day. They have a job. It's kind of funny how this whole thing works. They want to make money, and yet they're catering to needs. They're catering to guys who sit on their asses all day to play games. Guys with jobs, they can't do that. It's not easy.
Nintendo's like mantra for, I know Nintendo themselves didn't really develop this game, Side Games did, but they did it in collaboration. And their mantra for mobile games was like one-handed play. One-handed play. Super Mario Run, it's not in landscape mode because one-handed play. Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, all of that. Dragalia Lost is is not in landscape mode. That's not, or portrait mode, right? That's what it is. But my point being though is like they're all meant for one-handed play. Meanwhile, Dragalia Lost is over here. You have to have like multiple fingers just to get all your skills off, proc all them up, then roll, dodge, do all this stuff. It's like it's just like the black sheep of the Nintendo mobile games, just because the entire design is completely different.
Well, I don't know if I agree with the one-hand thing. I actually do play the game.
Do you now? That's okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I personally hold it like this, and then like use one thumb to move, one thumb to
Oh, if I do that, I'll fuck up.
But the other like Nintendo games, you can just definitely just tap. Like Fire Emblem, you can tap. Stuff like that.
Definitely. There's just a lot less.
Right, and I don't know. I feel like if they added some sort of dungeon crawling mode that did have less involvement, it'd be good for people that just want to play it more casually. Just don't want to play it with co-op centered content like that. Because right now it's all co-op.
Exactly. I don't want to be forced into co-op. That's the most important thing right now. I just don't want to be forced into co-op. And if I am, please let it be fun. I play a game for it to be fun. I don't play a game for it to be work. I already have enough of that all fucking day. I come home from work, I'm exhausted. I can't be dealing with more work. The last week was just so stressful. I wasn't sure if I was even alive.
I don't know about you, but that's what I thought Mercurial Gauntlet was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a wave-based dungeon mode, something like that.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that before. I remember when they data mined it, everybody looked at it, it was like, oh, maybe you go through like dungeons and such and get treasures. Turns out, nope, you get the big fat ass in the center and you have to hit them repeatedly.
Yeah, there was like that data mined like at the very start of the game, like a maze mode, something like that. What happened to that?
Yeah, what the fuck happened to that? That would have been great. No. Instead, here's some more high dragons. I'm so sick and tired of it. I want my Diablo gameplay.
That'd be cool. That'd be so cool. And you get drops from defeating enemies. Some of the enemy design, like the regular enemy design, I know we don't get to see them too often, but they're really cool. I'd love to see be able to fight more of them and just do some of that puzzling.
I want to fight armies. It felt like playing Dynasty.
Oh yeah,
Warriors.
get my Xander out, get my stack up. It'd be fun. I want to do stuff like that.
That defense mode that we had for.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was a thing. That was cool.
Yeah. That was great. That should have been permanent, or maybe with some variations, but. It was a good idea that they had, but, well, hey, we're not using it anymore. I don't know. I just don't think that Okada has what it takes. I don't know. When I read up on Okada, when I first heard about him. I heard he came from like a game that is like some kind of Clash Royale clone. I don't remember what it was called, but it failed. Though the people did say that they were treated nicely, it was nice and all that stuff, but still, it failed. The point of it is, it failed for one reason or another. So I'm having some doubts as to if this man can actually make this game work, because right now it's been one thing after another after another. It wasn't like just one thing, but it's been happening, and I don't see it changing in any foreseeable future, because we saw the New Year's announcement, I keep saying New Year's, the anniversary announcement, and all I see are just more bosses and more stuff, and the 6 mana circle. Hey, guess what? Maybe you're gonna need tails and horns to unlock the 6 mana circle.
No.
Then what the fuck are you gonna
Don't tell
do?
me we're gonna. We probably are. I haven't thought about that.
We really, exactly. That's what I thought when I saw that. I was like, oh shit, what if we have to use some other stuff like horns? And then you got people that are locked from that because they simply,
And they're gonna start balancing around 60MC. That's what people don't understand.
Dude,
just because you're getting more power on those units doesn't mean they're gonna feel more powerful. They're gonna balance around 60 mana circle. You're not gonna feel any more powerful, I promise you. You're gonna be doing more numbers, but like the health is gonna drain the same amount. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's also, I don't know. When you play like games like Diablo, right? You go through the stages, but you feel more powerful as you go down. Sometimes even so powerful that you just break the boss in like a couple hits. But sometimes people like that kind of gameplay. I don't know, have you played that Disgaea? Like, it's based around just doing as much fucking damage as you can, and it's actually pretty glorious. I like that kind of stuff. But as it is right now, it's just raid bosses, raid bosses, more raid bosses, more raid bosses. Here's a couple more. And the difficulty continues to increase, but our overall power, well, if you want it, you're gonna have to go through some crazy ass shit for it. I don't know. By the time you clear it, the power is not even all that great anymore, because some new content shows up and you're doing the same damage that you.
Oh yeah, Android weapons now. Get them while they're hot.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have to think about it for a while. I've got like a couple more days before High Jupiter's done, but if I don't get High Jupiter's this week, I might just quit the game. I think that's what I'll do. I think I need to set a limit for myself. Then again, I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea either, because I had to put in so much work just to get to that point. I don't know.
What do you
I feel like I'm lost.
What do you think that the androids are gonna like drop? Because obviously, you know, they're gonna put them in the game. They're obviously gonna have to drop something so that you can grind them, or you know, what are you gonna be able to do with those drops? Like, what do you think they're gonna be?
Well, you know how like this game has like 1 million goddamn currencies, which is also fucking stupid. They're probably gonna introduce some shit like Android oil, Android gears, and shit like that. You gotta collect these to make your Android weapons. Yada 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 yada. That's also another problem with this game. There's so many fucking currencies. All I see are just new currencies, one after another, after another, after another.
I feel like there's nothing to use them on too. Like, I have so many void seeds just sitting. Cause I don't need to buy more 4-star dragon stones. What am I gonna do? Make 5 Halloween silk?
We never have any new 4-star dragons either. Yeah. They were done like after Halloween. And then the silk. After Halloween silk, there was no more
4-star ingots. Like, what am I gonna use those for now? Nothing.
I suppose if you have a real itching to fight some void battles and your weapon sucks and you need to get one for some reason. I actually did do that though. I actually did get four those 4-star bricks to fight void Zephyr auto, because I don't want to do it in groups.
It's a pain in the ass.
So I just so I just slap my guys with a whole bunch of things and just auto it because of Dol. That's the only reason I would see it being used. But that goes back to the whole, hey, listen, I want to play single player sometimes. I don't want to play multiplayer all the time. I feel like that's a lot of problems with these mobile games lately. They just want you to play multiplayer, but they neglect the single player aspects. You know, in many ways, I feel like Fire Emblem Heroes might have done a lot of things correctly in not having co-op. I get a lot more stuff done there. I feel like I just need to do a couple things and I'm done. Like I finished for the week. But for Dragalia Lost, nowadays I have to make sure I get the 3 weekly boxes. If I don't get it done, I take a huge loss for that week. And now I actually have to clear the boss as well. It's very stressful. I can't handle it. I sound like I'm a whining kid, but I really can't.
No, you're not alone though. You shouldn't feel bad because there's plenty of people. Like I've already seen people that quit, and you mentioned Spitting Sharks already quit. Obviously, some people are just not happy with the direction. They're allowed to be that.
Yeah, I'm old. I have to think about settling down at some point. Once I have kids, there's no way I can play games like that. I could play a cell phone game that I can just tap a couple times, but now once I have kids, I won't be able to raid anymore. It's like for me.
See, I wouldn't have a problem if Dragalia Lost set the precedent when it first released that it was going to be a game like this, but it was not a game like it is now. It wasn't the more competitive centered game. It was much more casual, but just within the last couple weeks it's become this. So it's like
exactly. I feel like
exactly it's not the same game anymore. So it's understandable why you feel that way. You didn't sign up for this train that you're on now, but you feel like you're stuck in it because you spent so much time, so much money into it. I totally get it.
Yeah, sunk costs.
Yeah. That's it, exactly. Costs. Like they changed the direction of the game. 100%.
Yeah. Man, seriously, imagine if it's like Diablo.
You got that idea in your head, and now it's like, the possibilities.
It's all gone. It's not coming back. It's never going to come back. But anyway, we've been going in circles about that. Do you have any other things you want to add?
I don't know if there's anything else. I feel like we covered a lot of it. Pretty much.
Yeah, we spent a lot of the time today talking about these things. I actually enjoyed my conversation with you. We've gone through this for about an hour and 16 minutes. It's actually pretty amazing that we did all this in air in this burning building, and this is fine.
My lungs are collapsing, but we got a good conversation out of it. Okada seems to be doing fine, Still blank face.
Yeah, Okada seems to be.
He doesn't even feel the burn. He's got like that dragon skin, like that one dude from that one chapter that I don't know his name from.
Furries. Furries. Yeah.
The chapters come out so, not frequent that I don't even know his name.
Yeah, that too. They don't even.
They don't
They
give
just
it.
want to make they just want to turn this shit into esports. Why the fuck do you want to turn?
They want some of that Summoner Wars money. They want some money.
They're not gonna get that much more money from it. Like, if they're gonna offer like time attack rewards like that, you can have free play. You can just like build up an Emma or some shit and just I don't know. I feel like it's restricted, yes, but I've seen some free-to-play players that do really well. Just because they have a couple units and they've been saving up their ingots, they've been doing really well on time attacks. And now they don't have to spend money, period, because they have all that shit in their inventory.
This is a big one, too. They can have all that, but if they don't know the right people, they're screwed. That's another thing. They have to know the right people.
Yeah, those guys know all the right people. I see people brag about, hey, look, my so-and-so character can meme clear the map. Yeah, shit. What about your 3 other fucking teammates who carried your ass? They brag about that shit as if they did all the work. No, you just so happens to be an off-meta unit that in a properly built group, and they did all the work for you. It's all about knowing the right people, but, if you don't have guys who are willing to do this for you, you don't even dream about it. That's it. Don't even dream about it. You're not gonna get it done.
And I feel like we got the better part of it because we're kind of more in the public eye for like Dragalia Lost. So we have people we could go to. But imagine being a player that like doesn't, have that type of people to go to. And just being like, guys, please, I'm begging you, carry my ass. Please.
Help me, have mercy. Yeah. I have to say you're right. When I saw your name pop up on the public group, I was like, ooh, maybe I should really join into that. That sounds really fun. and I joined up that one time. That's also another thing. I wish that you could join up with people that like as many times as you can. There's just no way to do it in the game as it is. All you have is a shitty friend list that gives you a support. They need to have some way for you to play with friends that or just play with anyone that you pugged with previously. Form your own group from previously last played players or something like that. At the very least, we would be able to stand a much better chance at clearing things with, I don't know, with some crazy Chinese, Japanese guys who don't have any groups of their own. Hey, we can work something out. As it is right now, there's no in-game communications. The only thing we have is an alliance that is always full, and always full of people that go boom and bloop.
Yep.
Literally, that's
30
all my
people.
alliances. I don't know about your
Awesome.
alliance. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. 30 people is already very few, but they don't do anything. I don't know if you've ever done anything with your alliance, because the only thing I've did was one of those quests. I just invited them to I.O. We did one.
I got my 300 Wormite, and yeah, that's about
Yeah,
it.
that was it. That is all you do with this shitty fucking alliance thing. There's just no good way to use in-game communications in this game. There's just stupid. They need to figure that out quick.
They're making a game that's literally balanced around co-op right now, and you have fights like those master fights, the ones that have been released so far, where you literally have to communicate. Like, hey, I'm gonna take the left in Hybrid Hill. Like, I'm gonna take this side. I'm gonna dodge these meteors. Or in High Jupiter, I'm gonna be on the left side, while you can be on the right, and I'm gonna take this route. Like, there's no communication, but you have a game that's designed to have fights built around communication. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they might as well just, play Diablo at this point, because at least with Diablo, hey, you just go through a dungeon, you fight a boss that isn't like that. I remember playing so many times in Diablo 2, we don't even talk. We just kind of go through the map and clear and just farm like Baal or something like that. Go through his five groups of minions, and then we kill them. That was it. There was no need for any crazy strategies or anything like that. That kind of mindless grinding is kind of fun in its own way.
It fits itself well to mobile games too. You can just like put on a podcast or some music and just grind away.
Exactly. A podcast like this one, listening to two crazy guys talking for an hour and 20 minutes about fucking Okada. That's what you could be doing. But instead, you have to pay all your attention into the game. And it just wears down your concentration because you have to do it perfectly. Everybody has to do it perfectly. If it was just me, maybe it'll be easier. But
yeah,
they have to have. I think they really should have a separate single-player high dragon
That'd be
experience
cool.
that you could do to earn the rewards. Yeah, or a dungeon crawling mode that you could do to earn the same rewards. That would revitalize me.
Yeah.
But it needs to be soon, because once I make my decision, there's no coming back. There's no coming back at all. Once you fall behind this game, it's really.
Oh yeah, no. If you miss one single facility, like you're just gonna be at an inherent disadvantage compared to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So once I leave, there's no coming back. Whereas with Fire Emblem Heroes, you can just.
Oh, because they release power creep like every banner.
It's funny. I complain about power creeps all the time, but in a way, it allows you to.
That's
join
true.
in
That is a
anytime you
true
want.
point.
That is a true point.
Mm-hmm. And your old stuff isn't completely like useless. That's the most important part that they failed with this game. With those weapons being useless, it's just so disappointing.
In Fey, can't you merge your old units? I don't play Fey, but can't you use them for your newer units in a way?
Well, no. There's this thing called skill inheritance that you could inherit skills from one character to another. That's your way of merging. But merging, you basically put the same hero together to increase their stats. That's what merging is. But skill inheritance is just you putting skill from one character to another. There's still a lot of old skills that are still perfectly viable. So even though I complain about Fey power creeps all the time, as a matter of fact, it is still a very viable game. So I wasn't dealing with fucking ingot weapons that are completely useless.
God, that's the thing that makes me the most mad. I hate it so much.
I know. Langrisser, with Langrisser's summoning, and Langrisser is actually pretty decent with that too. I don't know why I'm talking about other games, but with Langrisser, you just need to summon one hero, and then you just build them up slowly, but you build them up. It's just that, you know, the leveling armies and less shit takes forever. So once you fall behind, it's tough to come back. That's the one issue why I quit the game. For Fire Emblem Heroes, you don't have to worry about that. Clash Royale, you just pick up and play whenever you want. But anyway, I think we've been going in tangent about the same shit over and over again, so we should probably stop with that. Yeah, so would you, is there anything else you want to add to today? You know, you want to say anything else? For
Someone call 911. This house is on fire. Okada dropped a match. You know, he's trying to. I don't even know what he was trying to do, but he messed up.
He messed up.
Yeah, he messed up, and he needs to fucking fix it fast before everybody else burned to death. Yeah. Again, this game is not esports. You're not gonna get sponsored if you do well in this. I'll tell you that much right now. You're not gonna get sponsored. It's not like going in WoW and people sponsoring you because you can clear this fight fastest. Nah, you're gonna get a pat in the back, and you're gonna.
Hey, you get an epithet though.
That's about it.
Nice. Oh.
Oh
Nice.
shit! Yeah, like people care about that. But anyway, thank you for joining with me today. I really appreciate you coming here and having a little chat with me. I feel a little bit better about this whole experience, and I really needed someone to talk to. I can't even talk to the people in the game. I just needed someone to talk to about DL. I lost Spinning Shark. My life almost had no meaning in DL anymore. So thanks for joining me.
I'm glad I could provide some insight, because yeah, it's a trouble time right now.
It's a trouble time
For sure.
right now.
You know, if you're ever in trouble, just give me a call. I will be sure to help you.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely hit you up for some Daniel heals, because you know I can't rely on pubs at all. I'm gonna need some help.
Need some help.
All right, maybe we can review some banners together.
I'd be
later at some
down, yeah,
point
for
as well.
sure.
I'd be down, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're still playing the game.
If you're still
Yeah.
If I still play
We'll
the
see how
game.
Todd Jupiter treats you.
Yeah, I really, I really wish we'd met sooner. I really wish we'd met sooner. You're a really down-to-earth guy, and I really enjoy spending time with you on this. We should have played more of those High Dragons together, but that one time in High Brunhilde was magical. I really had a good time doing pugs with you. So once again, thank you for joining with me today, and thank you everyone for watching. Until next